recording. All right, it is recording now. Hello, folks. Reverend Aaron Stockwell, Senior Minister here, and for this week's weekly update, I have your Director of Religious Education, Rebecca Crawford, here, and we're going to talk about what religious education is going to look like this year at the First Parish in Framingham. So, Rebecca, what are you thinking? We'll start off with the deep question and the one that I'm wondering about, and others are probably wondering about as well. What are the challenges ahead for religious education here at First Parish?
Yeah, it's a tricky year for us. I think that COVID-19 has changed the way that students all across Massachusetts and here in Framingham are doing their learning, and that's true at First Parish as well. As school moves to the virtual world, so too does religious exploration. So thinking about how we can differentiate learning at church from learning in school, keeping things interesting, keeping things focused around community, when we can't be together in person. Those are really, really tricky challenges, but ones that I'm excited to tackle.
Good, good. Tell us a little bit more about what you're thinking your approach for RE is this year. I've heard some of your plans. I'm really excited about them, but tell everybody else what you're thinking we're going to be doing.
I would love to. So this year we kind of have three major tenets of the RE program. The first is including and expanding our multi-gen worship. Just as we did last year, we started to do monthly worship services that were really focused and intentionally multi-generational. And I'm excited to be working with you this year to do the same, whether that's online for now, but eventually, hopefully in person as the year progresses and things continue to improve. Fingers crossed, that's right. But then the other is to begin a practice of children's chapel. It's not something that we've ever been able to do here, at least in my tenure at First Parish, but that's going to look like virtual services that are for K through 8 intentionally, just for kids, and thinking about what does worship look like and feel like if you're a student and you're a child in today's world. So we're going to tackle some big subjects in some really kid-friendly sort of ways. And then the last is a new program that takes some of the best of what RE has done over the years and includes some new ideas and borrows heavily from some other worlds that you may be familiar with, like Scouting or the National Park Service. And we're rolling out a First Parish RE badge program. I am looking for a cool name for the program. If you've got one, share it with me. I'd love to hear about it. But for now, it's called the RE badge program. And it has a variety of different topics that we're going to be covering. So
Cool.
the first,
What are some of those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to tell you. I'm all excited.
Great.
Okay,
Good.
so here they are. So the first one is called All About You, and it covers the 7 principles of Unitarian Universalism. The next is a little bit about UU history. Where do we come from? How are we a faith that has developed? I mean, we're pretty young in the world of world religions. So a little bit about our history and how we came to be. The next is all about First Parish. So learning about what it means to be a member of this particular community. And then we're going to, in December, roll out our Holidays and Holy Days badge. And this badge, of course, comes from the great curriculum, Holidays and Holy Days. Many of you may have taught it, or if you're a kid, you may have already been through it yourself. But it's a favorite of the First Parish world. So we're going to cover some of that as well. We've got a social justice badge because there's nothing more important than being a Unitarian Universalist right now than fully understanding and embracing what it means to be a social justice warrior in the context of 2020. The next is a World Faiths badge to help our students grow and appreciate their understanding and learning of other faith traditions right here in Framingham and the surrounding community. And then the last is called the Interconnected Web. So a little bit of understanding about nature and how we play into all of that. And oh, I was wrong. That's not the last. The very last is actually a mindfulness badge. So thinking about the practices of keeping your spiritual and faith-centered in your breath, in your body, and how we can help to find calm in an otherwise really not so calm world.
Great. One of the things that I think you'd mentioned is and as I was listening to all of it, maybe you did mention it, but I wasn't, I missed it, is you do have kind of an age breakdown in each one of these badges.
You're right.
Yeah, so you want to say a little bit more about that?
Yeah, just I don't know if any of you have been to a national park recently with a child, but if you have, the Junior Ranger program is a really great program wherein children learn about each of the national parks in our country. And I'm modeling some of the RE badges on the same way. So, for example, if you're a young child between the ages of 5 and 8, you may only have to do 1 or 2 of the requirements to earn the badge. If you're older, between ages 9 and 12, say, then your expectation is that you're going to complete all of those requirements. There may only be 4, 3, there may be as many as 7, all about you. Uh, and so that gives you the full sense of the badge program and allows children to really delve deeply. I should also mention that these are asynchronous opportunities. In other words, you can dash off and do all of the badges just as fast as you want to do them with your family. Or you can do them more slowly and in a pattern sort of way. On the RE calendar this year will be a series of badge sessions where they'll join me in a Zoom meeting, and it'll be like a one-room schoolhouse. K through 8, we're going to start tackling some of that badge, introduce some of the activities, do some of them together, and then send kids off on their own once a month to be able to complete one.
Great, excellent. This all sounds wonderful, and it sounds like a lot of work. What help can the First Parish community provide during this time?
I'm so glad you asked. There's always help to be had. So one of the things that the badge programs are going to ask our children to do is to have conversations with people who may not be quite like them. And that might be you. So for example, in the World Faiths badge, if you grew up in a different faith community than the Unitarian Universalism, they might be looking for somebody from a different religious tradition to ask about and say, what was it like? How did you practice? What was that all about? In our UU history badge, they might be looking to speak to an elder in the First Parish community. And by elder, I just mean somebody graduated from high school, because if you're 5 years old and you're 20, you're an elder.
You're
So that's one way that folks can help. And then throughout the year, we're also going to be doing some special events, trying to hold on to some of the traditions that folks hold really dear. So for example, what are we going to do about the Halloween party or the holiday pageant or coming of age, any of those sorts of things? Well, there's definitely going to be opportunities to step up and help. And I'll be posting those either in the care posts throughout the year or in special call outs to gain volunteers for these sorts of things. For example, this coming weekend on the 19th and 20th of September, we're inviting all of our RE community to bring their stuffed animals for a sleepover at First Parish, because it turns out that our stuffed animal friends are not going to get COVID-19. They're safe and immune from it. So they can come together and they can have a sleepover. And I've got a couple of volunteers, thank you volunteers, who are going to be helping to supervise our stuffed animals in their little journey at First Parish. But we'll have special events like that throughout the year. And if you'd like to help with those, I'd really welcome your help.
Cool. That sounds excellent. And of course, with all of this, even though we are gathering online, we will still be following all of our safer congregation policies that are already in place. So just parents, so you're aware, we are still going to be keeping your kids safe, even though we're going to be gathering virtually. And I'm sure that Rebecca will share more about how we're going to do that with registration and stuff like that. So anything else before we wrap up today?
If you're a parent, please go ahead and click on that registration link. You should have gotten an email this week and a couple of weeks ago with the link. If you need it, reach out to me. I'm happy to provide it for you. It's a form on our online database that helps you register. And all it is this year is an opportunity for you to come onto that mailing list so that you make sure you get all of the updates and the calendars and everything else to get started on RE this year.
Excellent, great. So be sure to register if you do have little ones who would be in the religious education the RE community. And of course, I do want to remind folks that this Saturday, which is the 12th, right? Yeah, the
That's
12th.
Right.
We will be having 2 drop-off periods. If you want to bring water from home, because I think most people were staying at home, or if you were able to travel from wherever you traveled, but I'm bringing it from my sink, I know that. And we'll have 2 collection periods at the First Parish parking lot. I'll be there. Rebecca will be there for one of them. Dean will be there. Sarah will be there. The first one is 9 to 11, and then 3 to 5. And you'll stay in your car. You'll pour water in. We'll get a picture of that. Wear your masks. And also we'll be collecting words about what you bring to the First Parish community.
That reminds
me.
So
I look forward. That reminds you?
That reminds me. I got to go home and start brainstorming what it is I bring.
Yeah. Oh, you bring a lot, so yeah,
Thanks,
you will have to brainstorm. All right, great. Well, thanks, Rebecca, for doing this, and thanks to everybody for watching. We'll see you maybe on Saturday. If you don't feel comfortable coming in person, send me an email with a picture of that body of water that you wished you had gone to, or the one that is your favorite, and send a sentence or two saying what you bring to First Parish, and we'll put all of that into a slideshow. So maybe I'll see you then, maybe I'll get an email from you, or maybe I'll see you on Sunday for our Zoom coffee hour after the service on YouTube. All right, friends, be well.
Thanks, everyone.